One of the trader's nemesis, and let's face it, this has all happened to us once or twice before, is we get bored. And what do trader junkies do when we're bored? We trade.
I recently had a meeting in Washington, D.C. About 3 hours train ride from the New York City area. A great opportunity on the train to prepare for the meeting, as well as prepare as to how I'm going to entertain them that evening. It was also some quiet downtime to do my pre-market preparation for an early trade opportunity, knowing that my afternoon and evening would be quite full and unable to watch the markets. It started with a 5:45 a.m. train, and I got there super early. Not even the coffee shop was open, and the gates were creepy and empty. Not to mention, super cold. I'd have time to leave my bag at the hotel and do some exploring before my 1 p.m. meeting, assuming an on-time arrival. All I have at my disposal was my trading app, a few indicators, and Amtrak in-train complimentary Wi-Fi. My laptop purely to prepare for my important meeting. My approach is simple. Keep it simple using 1 or 2 indicators and focus on price action. Keep size small. 1 to 2 equity index contracts max. Those are my rules. Don't get married to a position. I won't be able to watch it in the afternoon. So the goal, in and out. And lastly, stick to solid risk management. No hero crap or praying for losing positions to bounce back. My pre-market assessment on the quick Uber ride here had 2 premises. 1, the overnight futures range was small and inside yesterday's full day's range. That's important since I really want to scalp chop. I'm not looking for home runs with my boredom trades, so this market context qualifies nicely. Number 2, no known news events except for a housing report at 10 a.m. once the market opens. I hope to be done well before then. Both of these act as a viable framework or catalyst that allows me to boredom trade.
But is there an opportunity here? Well, let's take a look at something different, and this opportunity may open your eyes.
So I have a simple chart of the ES futures for my first trade. I just have a few indicators, a 9-period and a 30-period moving average to see if I'm going with the trend or not, a VWAP, which is above that, kind of like my line in the sand. I want to keep my stop above that. And a simple MACD. Everyone is familiar with the MACD. I want to make sure, as much as possible, I'm on the right side of that as well, particularly when the MACD changes. Here I'm using a simple 5-minute chart. As price comes down, I'm clearly looking short only. We're below VWAP. MACD is red. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to look to see if I could find a place to get in, preferably on a small bounce. And I get it right here. A small one, albeit. Enter at 49.6150, and I'm just looking for a 4-point target, regardless of support and resistance. Price action does give me a little heat, but the 9 and the 30 keep me honest and keep me short. My stop unharmed and eventually hits my target of 49.5750 for 4 ES futures points. 1 contract.
A pretty simple approach with not a lot of fluff. It's either going to work or it's not. Let's take a look at this second trade, this time on the NQ.
So with the NQ, this baby can move. So I'm going to use the 1-minute chart to get in and get out and keep my stop tight. You'll notice here I'm looking at price action and I'm looking to go long. I also want to see the MACD either turning green or about to turn green. I want to be an innovator. I want to be in early so I can get a tight stop. The NQ can get you out in 10 seconds on a bar. So I want to make sure I'm honest and keep my risk small. You'll notice 2 rejection bars and then a continuation. But that rejection bar after that, that's where the hair in the back of my neck stands up. There was 0 follow through. So I'm waiting for a couple candles down but mild with the potential of trapping shorts, and I'm going to take the break of the next high bar, which is that second bar where you see the letter E. Now I'm in. I just have to be patient, stop below the low, 8-point stop on the NQ, which isn't much. But again, I'm just hitting and running. About 5 minutes of patience on this 1 minute chart, and it hits my 688.50 one-to-one risk reward target. At that point, when the MACD started to change, I think I was in good shape and just going to let it ride out. A third trade, again on the NASDAQ 1 minute chart, was a continuation play with a tight stop below the 30 moving average. A little bit riskier and perhaps feeling the greed, but it worked out nonetheless. I had MACD and my VWAP target in front of me. I borderline overtraded 3 trades in less than 3 hours on a train. That's enough. And as my train rolls into Union Station in Washington, D.C., I really need to get ready for my meeting.
So there you have it. A simple approach, and maybe even a solution, to boredom trades. But first, let's review the top 5 rules that you absolutely must follow to be successful with boredom trades.
Number 1, even boredom trades needs a catalyst. In this example, the current overnight sessions range was very tight, much smaller than yesterday's full range. There was a chop session going on, and I really want to scalp in that chop environment. That was my catalyst. No big news events, no big overnight action. I want it dull, slow, methodical, and just pick up crumbs back and forth. Next, news-free zones only. No news this morning, and there was one news event at 10 a.m., 1/2 hour after the market opened, housing starts. Not really that concerned about it, and I planned on being flat before that news event. Keep size small, really small, seriously small. You don't want anything to go bad, especially with Wi-Fi that's out of your control and not having all the tools in your arsenal to look at. Next, that risk management thing, kind of important. Have your stops tight. I like to keep my stops a little wide, give myself some wiggle room. But when it comes to boredom trades, you want to keep them tight and accept those losses. Never, ever, ever try to make them back on a boredom trade. And before you do, know your phone app or laptop tools like a pro. Learn how to move stops, OCO orders, how to navigate them, limit orders, be able to change those in a flash. You just might need them.